It's 2019! It's actually like nearly 3 weeks into 2019 and I have done no videos in that time. But I feel pretty okay about that. I did a lot during December, and then the first week of January was a mixture of like New Year's Eve and then going on holiday with my family and my birthday, and then the second week of January is figuring out what the hell is going on, because you've spent the first week being, you know, really tired and a little bit drunk and all of that. So really my new year didn't kick in until this week. So really this is the first week of the new year and I'm putting out a video. So, or at least that's how I'm gonna console myself with the idea that it's the 18th today, and this is me filming the first video of the year. So, you know, we're just gonna go with it. At the end of every year and the beginning of every new year, there's a whole barrage of people talking about their New Year's resolutions and how amazing their past year has been and how great this next year is going to be. And I find all of that quite tiring, honestly. Partly because no year in the past like 5 or 6 has been wholly good or wholly bad for me. They've all been a really kind of mixed bag of things. So I'm starting to lose faith that I can say like next year will be my year, because it won't. It'll continue to be a mixed bag of things, some of them good, some of them bad. And so I find it quite difficult to be really peppy and upbeat about this kind of thing. I also really struggle with New Year's resolutions, partly because for my entire childhood and, you know, well into my adolescence, the only resolution that I had every year was to become thin. And that's really damaging and has done a lot of damage to me as a person. Yeah. Also, it means that I kind of just assume on face value that all New Year's resolutions will be broken. No one's going to do them, and there's no point me setting goals that I'm not going to meet. So I don't really do New Year's resolutions. I don't have a problem with other people doing them, and if you can stick to them, that's great. If you can't, well done for trying. But for me, I never really see the appeal anymore. But it does kind of make me feel sad when I see, like, for the week in between Christmas and New Year's, everyone on every social media is talking about, this is how amazing my year's been, and this is how great next year's going to be, and I'm going to set these goals. Part of the reason that the goals make me feel so sad is because a lot of them are about, well, Christmas was overindulgence, and now I'm going to spend the whole month not eating anything other than kale. And that is quite upsetting to me for a lot of reasons that I'm not really going to go into in this video. I feel like when people make those kind of posts of how great and amazing their year has been, what they're hoping, at least if they're a celebrity or someone who works in an industry where they have to kind of put all of that stuff up on social media, what they're hoping that happens is that people read it and go,
wow, that's so inspiring. Maybe I can try this thing that I've always wanted to do and it'll work.
And for some people, maybe it does do that. For me, what it ends up doing is that I read this really long post about how amazing their year's been, and the internal voice in my brain says, you're a failure. You're never going to be that good. Everything you've done up until now is nowhere near as good as that person, and they're 2 years younger than you. So, you know, you're only 21, but you're already a failure. You are a failure, and you should just feel bad. Which obviously is not super healthy. But now that I'm 22, I had a birthday while I was gone. It was lots of fun. I would highly recommend. Older and wiser and, you know, basically the same person I was when I was 21, but I've thought about it a lot more, and I've realised that for me, those kind of things just aren't inspiring. So I thought for today's video, I would tell you 5 things that for me help me to feel inspired, or rather things that I do when I'm feeling uninspired in the hopes that it'll kickstart and suddenly I'll feel better. Number 1 on this list is a change of scenery. So at the extreme end, this is go on a holiday, or visit a friend, or take a trip home. Obviously, that kind of thing is kind of expensive and requires some level of planning. So on the smaller end of the scale, it's go outside for a walk, or open a window, or even, and I realise this isn't so much a change of scenery as it's like a change for you, but it does make it feel like you're in a different place, have a shower or a bath. Just hold that thought. That's much better. My second thing that I do when I'm feeling relatively uninspired is listen to some really dancey music and just go completely crazy, dance around the living room or your bedroom. It just helps to kind of release all of the tension in your body and just be like, I don't care, this is really fun. If neither of those two work, then I try switching to a different medium. I would probably say that the two main media in my life are like music and books. So if I'm feeling kind of crappy about the music I'm writing, or like the book I'm reading at the moment doesn't really interest me, then I try switching to a different medium. For me, this has really worked with like listening to podcasts or going to watch a film. Often their kind of subject matter is very different from the books that I read or the songs that I listen to or try and write, and then I feel all excited about those stories instead. But it could also be things like switching to a different art format, or like reading stories that you don't usually read. So if you read a lot of historical fiction, then trying something in sci-fi or vice versa. The fourth thing is trying a brand new hobby or trying something that you don't normally do. So like last month when I did the project for Awesome, I did that nail art, which I had never tried before. I didn't know how to do. I just looked up online and I was like, that seems not too complicated, I'll just do it. And it made me kind of think about a whole bunch of different things and made me remember how much I really love construction and building stuff, and how much I really wish there was a job just to be someone who puts up IKEA furniture, because my god, I would fucking kill at that job. The last thing that I try, if none of those things work and I really am just feeling super blah about everything that I'm doing, I do something productive. I just leave it alone. I'm like, you know what, this isn't working now, maybe it'll work some other time, and I go and do something super useful with my day, so I don't feel like I've wasted it all just sitting around waiting for inspiration or the muse. So I like do a load of washing, or I do the washing up, or I put away all of my clean clothes, or I make the bed, or something productive and useful, batch cook a meal and freeze all of it, something that you can kind of tick off a mental list and be like, you know what, the whole day was not a waste even though I didn't do something inspirational and create art. It was just useful because I ticked a thing off my everyday to-do list of being an adult who has to look after herself. She says while filming a video at 6 o'clock at night with a bath towel on her head. I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you next week.